Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everybody's day is going great. Today, we got some juice, boys. And of course, it's from XQC. I don't know if you guys have heard about this whole situation. XQC has found himself in an interesting situation here with a couple e-girls. One of these girls' name is Bamp. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she's semi-popular. She hangs around a lot of Overwatch Pro streamers, goes to the Overwatch League games. Personally, I've met her in real life at the Overwatch League. She's come into my stream sometimes, and she seemed like a cool girl. I had nothing against her. But the situation has been flying off the handle, boys, and we must talk about it. So we're going to get into the juicy-ass details about this whole situation. XQC's e-girls fighting over him and stuff. It's nuts. That'll be the first part of the video. Then in the second part, obviously it's Wednesday, I'm going to go over my predictions for this coming Overwatch League week. Who is going to make the playoffs? That'll be the topic. So if you're new around here, guys, do not forget, click that like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want daily Overwatch League content. You can also enter a giveaway. There's only like a week left, guys. I'm giving 10 Overwatch League jerseys away. If you want a chance to win one of those, click the gleam.io link down below. It's easy to enter. And let's go ahead and kick this off, guys. Alright, so this whole situation started yesterday when BampXO on Twitter said this. Unfortunately, she did delete it, but we do know what she said in this very first tweet. Name one garbage human being. Here, I'll start. At XQC. Wow. And this came completely out of nowhere, guys. All the tweets from this conversation were deleted. There are some screenshots that I was able to collect, but we do know everything that was said. So in this screenshot, somebody asked, what did he do this time? Bamf responds and says this, what didn't he do is a better question. Then somebody obviously asked, well, what didn't he do then? And she responded with, everything. Also, a lot of people were really confused what she was talking about because this was kind of a closet relationship. They didn't really do anything in public. Nobody really knew about this. It was kind of just all under the wrap, which maybe is what XQC wanted. Maybe she didn't. That's why they broke up. I don't know. We'll probably speculate more. Then somebody asked, are they serious? What was going on? Did they just have a fling? And she said this, he was more than that to me, but it wasn't shared with the world. Smiley face, now I don't care. So this happened yesterday. There has been no response from XQC, which I mean is smart. I probably wouldn't respond either, and quite frankly, he probably just doesn't give a shit. So I heard about this news last night, and I considered covering it in my video, but, it's just not really, my style. I usually stay focused on the Overwatch League. I know you guys love the juice. I know you love the drama, and it just wasn't enough. But that was yesterday. More crap went down tonight, guys, and it's pretty juicy, so let's go ahead and cover that now. And we have somebody else coming into this picture, and you guys probably know who she is. It's Kimberly Wilkie. She's the girl that we used to see all the time on XQC stream. They dated for about 4 years. And I genuinely believe that Kim and XQC still do like each other, or at least they have like mutual respect for each other. And their relationship ending was more so that XQC was moving on to play in the Overwatch League. It was going to be in LA. They'd be far from each other and just wouldn't have time. So it was kind of like a mutual agreement, but obviously they still care about each other. That's what I think their situation was. And she made a response to one of Bamf's tweets from yesterday going off on XQC. This is what they said to each other. It was crazy, guys. Bamf says, I just think it's pathetic that I gave everything to someone just to find out he was talking to plenty of girls while I was flying out to stay with him. I don't care who you are, don't sit and manipulate others because of the position you are in. Then Kimberly responded and said this out of nowhere. That shit is called karma. I actually laugh at all you these tweet. I think she meant all of these tweets you said. Also, guys, it's a little broken English. She's French-Canadian. She's not super fluent in English, so I will be fixing some of the sentences. Anyways, I always stay in the dark and didn't crave for attention, but that's too much. You trying to be someone and leeching for attention and visibility is actually pathetic. I'm actually sad for you, because girl, there was actually nothing except you trying to date someone to get followers and money. Then Bamf responded and said this, ? I paid for everything while I was there. You want to talk about shit? Let's talk about you always stalking my things and yelling at Felix for hanging out with me. Let's talk about you pretending to be on his accounts too, but okay, lol. Kim said, I don't care that you're talking about our relationship issues because you know there was still a relationship going on. He broke up with you and you literally talked to me and talked shit about me constantly. Just stop, lol. I guess both of them have broken English. I don't know what her excuse is, but Kim then said this, let me correct you here. He didn't break up with me. And that's actually the first tweet I talked about you. Bamf responded, it is not. You were talking bad about me in chat, constantly favoriting tweets, bad-mouthing me, and you were blowing up his phone every time we were together. I really think you need to focus on yourself. I mean, you moved on and got someone else. Stop trying to cause things. Says the girl who constantly tweets about him and never got anything with him. I never fucking tweet, Facebook, Instagram about him. I was in a relationship with him for about 4 years. Don't you think you are the crazy bitch here? Bamf responded. Oh man, it's getting juicy. Bamf responded. You do though. You kept tweeting like you guys were still dating when you weren't. You kept harassing him about me, constantly bad-mouthing me. Listen, Kim, I understand you are hurt. I am too. But I have never once been rude to you. I have never once disrespected you. Just stop. Harassing you, question mark? That's the second time I talked to you. And that's not because you disrespected me, but that's because you disrespected one of my friends by trying to spread false shit. You are hurt? LMAO, I'm done. Bam posted this, a picture of her and XQC. She's covered. What the hell is going on in this picture? Why is this being posted? And look at XQC with this smirk, man. Oh, dude, XQC. This is hilarious, man. I love this drama. Kim responded, said, rolling on the floor laughing, oh no, that hurt my feelings. How, wait, Kappa, I'm not Bamf XO. A picture of you beside each other. That's juicy. You need to expose stuff and feed your drama. I don't need to. You know I'm right. Holy crap. And that's the end of it, guys. So 2 of XQC's ex-girlfriends or just flings, I don't even know, going at it on Twitter. And where's XQC in the middle of all this? Just hanging out. He's probably sitting there drinking his Coke. The juice, give me the juice. Just laughing. Oh man, this is funny. I mean, I don't like to laugh at, others' misfortunes, I don't know if Bamf was trying to use him. I don't know if XQC was talking to a bunch of girls. Who the hell knows, At the end of the day, it's life, and that's what a lot of guys do. That's what a lot of girls do. So it's hard to assume what actually is going on. Who knows? Maybe she was using him, and maybe he was talking to a bunch of girls, and maybe they were both just using each other. That will be all unknown until actual evidence of something comes out. Which, who knows? Maybe evidence will come out. Bamf seems to be pretty adamant about all this. She might post some crazy shit. I was surprised to see that picture. But at the end of the day, if somebody does post evidence or it's, whatever happened. Guys will be guys, girls will be girls. This is nothing to really get too upset about. This ain't no Dreamcasper situation. Oh, and by the way, shout out to XQC for making sure they are above 18. That's pretty much it for this whole entire situation though, guys. Let me know what you think about this down below. Let me know if you like the coverage of this, even though it's not completely Overwatch League related. It definitely was pretty funny, and I know you guys like to laugh and see some good drama, so I just had to post it. Oh, and one thing before we finish this topic, don't go and harass any of these people on Twitter. I know you XQC fans, you guys love him. He's hilarious, I agree. But don't go on Twitter and start sending death threats to these girls or anything like that. That is absolutely unnecessary. Please, seriously, do not do that, guys. Nothing about doing that is funny. The only reason I was laughing is because XQC does have these legion of fans who just love him so much and will defend him no matter what at any cost. And I respect that. It's awesome to be a loyal fan, but don't do that stuff, guys. And now let's move on to the games coming up this week. We definitely have some really good matchups, and these matchups mean a lot to these teams because not only is it dictating who's going to make the Stage 3 playoffs, but it means so much for the overall playoff standings. These teams are so close in the middle of the pack, and losing one match, even losing one map, can be the difference from you making the playoffs and not making it right now. So let's go ahead and talk about the games. First, we are starting off with the Philadelphia Fusion and Dallas Fuel. There's not too much to talk about in this one. I don't think the Dallas Fuel will be able to compete that well with the Philadelphia Fusion. Philly is one of the better teams in the league. They're looking to make the playoffs. If they slip up against the Dallas Fuel, then their chances are probably going to be slim. So I think the Philadelphia Fusion will win this 3-1, 4-0. Oh, and Effect's not there. Oh, it's a 4-0. I forgot Effect's gone. Moving on to the next matchup, Florida Mayhem and the LA Gladiators. Again, another big matchup for the LA Gladiators. They're in the playoff hunt. Pretty much every game for them at this point is a must win. Going 2-0 last week sure did put them in a good position, but they definitely have to keep winning. They can't afford to lose, especially against a team like Florida Mayhem, because there's going to be some tough games coming up against the other playoff contenders. And I do think, especially after last week coming in clutch against the London Spitfire, LA Gladiators will be able to take this. Florida Mayhem, they aren't the best team right now. They have been improving very slowly, but they are. It's just not enough for the LA Gladiators. Fisher's too good. Surefour's playing out of his mind, and they're going to take it 3-1 or 4-0. Moving on to the next matchup, Houston Outlaws and San Francisco Shock. This is a big one. San Francisco Shock is pretty far behind in the stage. They are definitely in a dire situation where they must win every single game, pretty much 4-0 or 3-1 and 4-0, and pray other games that aren't in their control go their way to end up making it, which is highly unlikely. And the Houston Outlaws, they're in a much better position. They need a 3-1 or 4-0 here. It's tough, though, because San Francisco Shock has looked really good, and I do feel like the Houston Outlaws will struggle at certain points. This is definitely a match where you have to look at the map pool, and to be honest, it makes me lean towards the San Francisco Shock. The first map is Volskaya. We've seen Houston do pretty decent on it. Same with the San Francisco Shock. Then we have Numbani, though. And judging by the Houston Outlaws resorting to a freaking Torbjorn attack strategy to try to win it, I don't think they're very confident on it either. And it'll probably go in San Francisco Shock's favor. Moving on to Nepal, a map that actually San Francisco has looked really good on. But so is Houston, so this is going to be a close one. And then the last one is Route 66. And we all know Route 66, Houston Outlaws, is their worst map. Sure, they've won it recently, but I don't think that changes much. San Francisco Shock, I hate to say it, but I think they're going to win this match 3-1. And that's going to be a tough one for the Houston Outlaws because they need to go 2-0 this week. Now, moving on to Thursday, San Francisco Shock, they're playing back-to-back, and they have to beat the Florida Mayhem. And if they do so, they've done their job and put themselves in the position they need to be in. And considering how well they've been playing, I think they'll be able to do it. 3-1 or 4-0 for the Shock. Moving on to the next match, we have the Boston Uprising and the LA Valiant. Now, the Valiant, I mentioned this in my video over the weekend, they're pretty much in it. They're set. They just have to make sure they get some maps here and there. Even if they go 0-2, it's fine. Don't lose 0-4, 0-4, because then you might be in danger. Boston Uprising, they're going to go 10-0. I don't see them losing to the Los Angeles Valiant. They've had an amazing stage so far, and I do think they're going to be the first team to go 10-0 in a stage. Boston Uprising are going to win this 3-1. Moving on to the next matchup, Dallas Field, New York Excelsior. New York's going to win this. They're going to secure the second seed, and that's that. Moving on to Friday, LA Gladiators taking on the Boston Uprising. This is going to be an interesting one. I think the Gladiators have a better shot at beating Boston than the Valiant do. The map pool's pretty decent for the Gladiators. They're really good at Volskaya. It's one of their best maps. Then we have Numbani, another decent map for the Gladiators. Nepal, Route 66. They can pick up some maps here. I'm talking even Game 5. But at the end of the day, I think the Boston Uprising will come up clutch. Striker, he's been playing like the MVP. He is the MVP. I'm going to make a video about that. You can't argue that Striker is not the MVP right now. So I'm looking at him to carry this game. And I think Boston Uprising will win 3-2 or 3-1. Then moving on to the next one, New York Excelsior, Shanghai Dragons. Shanghai, fortunately, they have improved lately. And they might be able to win a set in Stage 4. It's not going to be Stage 3. They're taking on New York. They're taking on London. They're not going to win these matches. It won't happen. Moving on to the next one, we have Seoul Dynasty. Now, Seoul Dynasty's first match of the week, it's against the London Spitfire. They're in a very similar situation to the San Francisco Shock. They must win these games. If they lose one, they're out. And they even have to win with a good scoreline. 3-1, 4-0, 3-1, 3-1. Has to be that good. They can't go 3-2. They'll just be too far in maps. Going up against the London Spitfire, though, I don't even know if they'll be able to win this because they have struggled historically so far against the London Spitfire. And sure, London Spitfire did lose to the Gladiators last week, but they do look more improved than they have been in this stage at certain points. Hureg has been much improved, so I do feel like the London Spitfire will be able to edge this one out, either 3-1, maybe even 4-0, because again, they've just looked so good against Seoul. It's hard to bet against them, and Seoul always chokes when they need to win, so I doubt they're going to be able to pull this off. Moving on to the next day, Shanghai, London. We talked about this. London's going to 4-0. Moving on to the second match, Houston Outlaws, Seoul Dynasty. I did predict that Seoul would lose, and I predicted that Houston would lose in their first match of this week, so that means they're out of the Stage 3 run. But this match is still huge because they are playing for the in-game playoffs. Both these teams are sitting in a spot where they must win, and if they lose a few string of games going on into the next stage, they're going to get knocked out. And Houston Outlaws, they've gotten the best of Seoul Dynasty so far. And I don't know, I just have this feeling in my gut that Seoul Dynasty is really going to miss out on the playoffs. Somebody on my Discord during a viewing party told me 2 months ago during Stage 1 that Seoul Dynasty was going to slip after Stage 1 and miss the overall playoffs. And I actually am starting to agree with him. I thought he was crazy at the time. I thought he was losing his mind. But it's possible. It is very possible because every single time it comes down to them needing to win, they choke and they lose. And I think that's going to happen in the next stage. So Houston Outlaws taking this 3-2, 3-1. Moving on to the final matchup, the LA Valiant and the Philadelphia Fusion. Now this one is going to be a banger. Philadelphia Fusion, they're going to be fighting to make the playoffs here. And LA Valiant, they might be fighting to make the playoffs too. Because if they get 0-4 by the Boston Uprising, there is a chance they won't make it if they lose 0-4 to the Philadelphia Fusion. So they're going to be fighting to win some maps here. But I don't know if it's going to be enough because they're on a losing streak. But now that I think about it, Philadelphia Fusion's kind of on a losing streak too. Both these teams have lost a couple of their last games. And now the pressure's really going to be on. Who do I think will be more clutch in this situation? I think I'm willing to put my money with players like Carpe, EQO, Boombox, Poco. They've shown that they can come out clutch, especially when they beat the London Spitfire in Stage 2 playoffs. And talking about the Philadelphia Fusion and who's clutch on their team just reminded me, Shadowburn is on the Philadelphia Fusion, guys. It's crazy how a guy who we thought coming into the league was going to be one of the best Genjis, best projectiles overall, and would just dominate everybody. Got subbed out and is riding the bench for a player no one has heard of, and that is EQO, who has been fantastic so far in the league. He has shown up in every single match. I don't think EQO has had a bad match. It's just honestly crazy. The more you think about it, a player like Shadowburn being benched, but then EQO is so good, he came out of nowhere. What a wild story. And I honestly can't even imagine how Shadowburn feels about all this. You know he wants to be on that stage. You know he wants to play. And if he was playing, he would be doing a great job too. I'll tell you guys what, come near the end of the season and then free agency starts, Shadowburn is probably going to be requesting a trade or looking for a new home because he wants to start 100%. And I got a little sidetracked there, but it's just crazy. We're going to definitely have to have a video about Shadowburn sometime soon. But let's get back to the game here. So I think Philadelphia Fusion is going to win this. I don't think they'll be able to beat them 4-0 though. LA Valiant will get a map. Philadelphia Fusion, they're going to win 3-2 or 3-1. And then that means we're going to be in a situation where LA Valiant move on no matter what. And LA Gladiators and the Philadelphia Fusion is going to come down to maps. Who won more maps this week and who lost less? I have Philadelphia Fusion going 2-0 and the LA Gladiators going 1-1. That puts them both at 6-4. LA Gladiators currently have a 5-map lead, so they need to make sure in that Boston set they win map because they're in danger if Philadelphia Fusion win 4-0 and 3-1 this week. So it's going to be a close one. I do think the LA Gladiators have the advantage here though. They will be able to get maps off Boston, and they will be able to shut out the Florida Mayhem. So I have both the LA teams moving on to the playoffs alongside Boston and New York. I'm going to save my predictions for that though because I might be wrong, and if I am, we'll correct the bracket on Saturday night in my video, and I'll give my predictions going into Sunday. So that's it for this video, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, the giveaway you don't want to miss out. It's almost over. And last thing, guys, I'm going to leave a poll down in the comments. I want to do more community events like the viewing parties or post Overwatch League streams with viewers' questions and stuff. So there's going to be a poll in the comments. You guys are going to click it and vote on what you guys want to see the most, whether it's the post Overwatch League streams, viewing parties, or whatever else I list on there. Pick your favorite and what you want to see the most, and that's what we'll start doing more of. And that's it for me, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.